Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us right now at 7. I'm Tracey McCain.
I'm Nuclo. You're watching Eyewitness News here on the Wax. A lot to talk about, but first, let's get the details on that heat because that feels like what everyone is talking about,
Yes,
right? So let's get
sure.
over to meteorologist Jill Gilardi for the details. Another first alert weather day today, Jill.
Yes, the last.
Okay,
Yay,
good.
it's hump day.
The end is in sight.
Yes, there's lots of positive things about today, and we are excited to get rid of this by tomorrow. But
Good.
Still, one more day of this near record heat, this feel that is absolutely miserable and taxing on your body. 95 to 105, it feels like temperature today. Heat-related illnesses, again, going to be a concern. Heat advisory in effect across our entire state because of that concern. So we're taking it easy one more day. Another reason to, provide that excuse that, it's too hot to do this or that outside. All right. So we're talking about a temperature already of 84 in Chester, 81 in Windsor Locks, 83 in New Haven. So we are heating up quite quickly, and it is feeling very hot out there already in Chester. 91 the feel, 89 the feel in New Haven. Keep up with that feels like temperature for your location through the First Alert Weather app. But here we go. We are headed for that feel well into that miserable range by 10 o'clock. So anything strenuous, knock it out between now and then. Otherwise, just wait until tomorrow, because look at this, all the way through this afternoon, that 95 to 105-degree feel will be with us, but change, as promised, is on the way. More on that in just about 10 minutes from now. But let's toss it over to Caitlin for an update on traffic.
All right, thanks, Jill. Good morning, everyone. 7:02 here on your Wednesday. If you're heading out right now, we have a couple of issues that I want to turn your attention to, so just take a second to pause and make sure that you're paying close attention if you're traveling through East Haven. Foxton Road is closed between Sperry and River Roads because of a fire. We just heard from fire crews who tell us, thankfully, no injuries were reported. Crews are starting to wrap up there, but they expect that roadway to be blocked off for about another hour. Still dealing with a road closure in East Windsor. North Main Street is closed at Pleasant Street, and in Cornwall, an overnight crash has Warren Hill Road closed right at the split to Route 7. So again, a couple of issues as you're getting ready to head out the door. Let's take you out and give you a live look here. 84 East and westbound in Talon, right off of exit 68. It's right by Cider Mill Road here in Middletown along Route 9. Here in Windsor, right on the Windsor Locks line, right by the Bradley Connector. And here in Meriden along 691 East and westbound, traffic volume through a good chunk of the state still pretty light. You will need the sunglasses, and you will definitely need the air conditioner in the car. Let's quick check at your Connecticut Chevy First Alert traffic report driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
An extra hot night for some people in East Windsor after an overnight power outage left over 130 customers without air conditioning or fans, electric fans.
Yeah, and imagine that in heat like this. So a tree fell over and knocked down some of the power lines right near the intersection of North Main Street and Spring Street. You're looking live at the scene right now where crews are still working on this. A very difficult time to be without power. The utility company says they're hoping to get it back on by about 11:30 this morning.
Oh my goodness, and it's going to be 90 by then. We continue team coverage right now on this First Alert Weather Day.
A warning there if you're trying to stay cool by running your plug-in air conditioning units.
Yeah, if you don't use them the right way, you could unknowingly create a fire hazard. Your reporter Marcy Jones breaks down the important safety message.
Good morning. It's likely that during this heat wave, you or somebody you may know has been cranking that AC unit around the clock. Now, while it's important to stay cool in these high temps, if you're not doing it correctly, you could actually be putting yourself in extreme danger. Public safety officials want to make sure if you're running an AC unit at home that you have it plugged directly into the wall to avoid starting a fire, adding that having an AC unit plugged into an extension cord or power strip can easily overheat and pose a major fire hazard. Some local fire crews have also reported an uptick in calls for outdoor equipment like lawnmowers or power tools, overheating especially in high temperatures.
Check the manufacturer's kind of recommendations on the appliances and the tools and the utilities that you use within the house and even outside the house.
And if you're still looking for some relief, text 211 for a list of all of the local cooling centers in your area. Your reporter in Hartford, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, a heads up here if you live in East Haven this morning. Police need your help as they try to figure out what caused a crash between a car and a bicycle. And a young person was seriously hurt here. Pinpoint News Tracker shows you where this happened at the intersection of Hemingway Avenue and Tyler Street late Monday night. So if you live in that area, check your surveillance or your doorbell cameras. If you have anything that might be helpful, call police.
Well, today we are expecting to learn more about a budget deficit and possible school closure in New Haven. The school district is considering closing Brennan Rogers Magnet School to address budget issues and declining enrollment. According to the district's website, the school serves about 500 students in pre-K through the 8th grade.
Well, today a man is expected to face a judge after police say he threatened the CEO of Bristol Health. The suspect is facing charges of threatening and breach of peace. Investigators are crediting Bristol Hospital employees who called police after seeing some concerning social media posts.
Also this morning, a state lawmaker speaking out after being arrested on shoplifting charges. Police in Bethel say Representative Raheb Ali Brennan walked out of a store without paying for $27 worth of items. He responded to the incident on social media, saying he was in a rush to see his grandmother in the hospital and didn't scan 2 items as he used the self-checkout. He says he takes full responsibility for the mistake and is working to resolve it.
Testimony continues this morning in the trial against the suspect accused of stabbing a 17-year-old at a high school party in Shelton back in 2022. The jury heard yesterday from 2 people who were hurt that night. An emergency room surgeon also testified, saying the victim's chances of surviving were impossible unless the injuries happened in the hospital.
Well, experts are warning this heat wave coupled with recent rain could lead to an especially pesky and nasty mosquito season.
Yeah, we've learned that mosquitoes in our state have already tested positive for West Nile virus earlier than usual. Your reporter Roger Suzanne has more from the testing site in New Haven.
Well, listen, there is absolutely no reason to panic, but I can tell you this is one of the earliest times in the season that we've had mosquitoes test positive for West Nile virus, which means if we don't protect ourselves, we'll likely all be kind of slapping ourselves silly long into this summer and even into the fall. So let me kind of break down this situation. It all started about 2 weeks ago, and that's when scientists in our state tested a big batch of these bugs that they captured in Bridgeport, and they found that some of those mosquitoes carried West Nile virus. Now, the result is one of the earliest detections of the virus over the last quarter century in Connecticut. Typically, mosquitoes don't test positive in our state until early July or at least late June. And unfortunately, the buzz is really growing here at the Agricultural Experiment Center that we could have a particularly long and annoying mosquito season, thanks in part to recent rain followed by this nasty heat wave. Experts say you can, though, protect yourself by using bug spray, limiting your time outside, and dumping any standing water like bird feeders that might be outside your house. Scientists say their recent tests prove that if we don't take precautions, we'll likely all have to deal with months of bug bites.
Certainly could potentially spell trouble later on. We have many more weeks and months ahead of a mosquito season.
And listen, don't shoot the messenger on this last piece of advice, but experts say at this point, we really all should be wearing long sleeves and pants if we can when we're outside, which of course is not a whole lot of fun during this heat wave. Reporting in New Haven, I'm your reporter Roger Suzanne, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Well, this morning, the Groton Police Department is asking for your help finding a burglary suspect. Take a look at the video here that they sent us. You can see the suspect on this surveillance camera inside the Olio restaurant and bar on Kings Highway, rummaging around behind the bar before he finds the cash register, grabs it, and takes off. If you know anything, if you recognize that person, call police.
What is the final first alert weather day of the next at least 7 days? That 4-day stretch after today comes to an end because relief is on the way. But today it's very mild to start. It's another very hot day, and we are advising you to take those necessary precautions once again, including watching out for your pets. They don't need to be on the concrete or asphalt going for a walk. It could take less than a minute for their little paws to burn on those kind of surfaces. So we're avoiding that. Even late morning hours, it gets very hot and you want to test it out, just put the back of your palm of your hand on there and you'll be like, whoo, and you'll know that it's too hot for them too. All right, 80s are already popping up, so we're heating up real fast, getting into the 90s, low 90s this afternoon. New London, you have a few clouds passing by, maybe a brief shower, and then for Windsor Locks, we're going to be climbing well into the 90s again today. But today is the last day of this brutal heat. Yeah, we're sending it off on a plane somewhere. That's right. We're going to be tracking a nice cool down. More on that in just a few minutes. Trace?